welcome everybody. It is Monday. It is the last day of February, and it is the show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that seemingly never ends. This is Heading Back to the Window with Scott and Scott. I am your host, Scott Steehn, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com.
And I'm your co-host, Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And together we do this every day, guys, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, to kind of guide you on that perilous journey as we all attempt to take our tickets back and cash them at the window. So it's good to be here. It's good to be here on opening day, Scott. This is it. This is not a drill, my friend. Opening day of conference tournament season, and then soon to follow March Madness right after that. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, man. It's a good time to be here, and of course, we're excited. We're kicking it off in fine fashion. It's the play-in game in the Northeastern Conference, Scott, the Farley Dickinson Central Connecticut battle that we've all been waiting for. Who you got there?
Fairleigh Dickinson at home.
Okay, yeah,
The only reason is because they're playing it at Fairleigh Dickinson. That's good enough for me.
It's been a home and home series for sure. Absolutely the case. So. Of course, we do want to remind you guys to like and subscribe. It's very high stakes today. Like and subscribe, or the refs are calling another foul in that 76ers game. How many did they call, Scott? 79?
You ended up having 79 free throw attempts among the two teams combined.
Man, that's just absolutely brutal. Just brutal.
Embiid had, I believe it was 27 free throw attempts. What happened at the beginning of the season when they were like swallowing the whistle?
Yeah, that's
what happened there.
You know, I'm sure it's crew by crew, and you know, honestly, we probably ought to do more work with NBA officials because I'm sure there's absolute trends like there are with umpires and NFL referees as well. So, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, share our stuff on social media. You guys know the drill. Follow us on social media, Twitter over there at Winners Whiners. There's no and, just Winners Whiners. And follow us personally. You'll see our sobriquets come up there. I'm at Steamroller. He is at Reichel Radio. So, yeah, good to be here. And welcome everybody aboard. JB, you're a cashy little cow, ain't you? That's what's our cow's name, Scott?
We haven't named him yet, actually.
No, but it's the cash cow.
Oh, yeah, I'm saying we just call him the cash cow.
Yeah,
I don't think we have another name.
He's the cash cow. A lot of low-level WTA today. He loves it, says Magellan Sports. Scott, you on some WTA today?
Really am not. I was looking at some futures, though. I believe I saw that Georgie was favored in Lyon, and I would never bet her to actually win a tournament in Lyon. I think that she's a pretty good player, but she seems to always, I don't want to say be a bridesmaid and never a bride, but she seems to really have a hard time piecing together a good week or so of quality tennis in a row. I don't think she should be a favorite in the tournament, so I think she'll probably end up losing at some point.
Cool story, bro. So, Scott, we're going to unveil a new segment today, and I didn't even tell you about this, but you've inspired me. I got to tell you, this is a segment that we're going to call "Light It Up," and I want you to tell the audience, as I have a visual demonstration here ready to go. I want you to tell the audience about your conference tournaments plays. Ready?
So
let's light it up.
We got, of course, I don't know if you can actually light that on fire though.
It appears to be non-flame. Oh, there we go. Light it up, Scott.
Okay.
All right. We're using the same one tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, as we know, you got the Horizon League conference tournament starting in, I believe, a day. I think it starts tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm looking through some of the odds. On the favorites, of course, you know, it's not exactly a tournament that you feel much confidence betting favorites. So I looked at the long shots on the board.
Why not?
Now, Ooey Pooey is 500 to 1. Not a chance.
Nope.
Like, I might be bold. I'm not that bold, right? On top of that, you have a couple of teams like Green Bay, who's been awful this season. But you have Robert Morris, and you have Milwaukee. Are any of those three teams good?
No.
However, DraftKings had 500 to 1 on Robert Morris and on Green Bay, and FanDuel had 310 to 1 on Milwaukee. So I risked a very nice $30 total.
Light it up
for a shot to make either $3,000 or $5,000, and we're just gonna have some fun. That's my bet. So are they gonna win? Definitely not. But if they play this tournament 500 times, do I think Robert Morris and company can maybe find a way to win one?
No.
If it's gonna happen in any tournament, it would be the Horizon League. So I ended up having some fun wasting $30.
There you go. Light it up. That's our new segment.
Thank you.
Oh, I told you to give it to homeless guys. Like $30. Give it to the homeless shelter.
I would, but you just lit the dollar bill on fire.
Yeah, you see me high roller, and I ain't lighting any hundreds on fire for the point of our demonstration. That was officially a dollar bill.
I'm just saying.
And I put it out so I could use it again.
I'm not saying that they're going to win, but when you get the same...
I think when you bet on the win, that's exactly what you're saying.
No. But my argument would be that if Robert Morris and Green Bay are getting the same 500-1 odds on Ooey Pooey, somebody messed up.
Okay.
Because there's no chance Green Bay and Robert Morris are as bad as Ooey Pooey.
Okay.
Like, there's no chance.
All right, fair enough.
So that's my argument there.
All right, very good. Robert Morris, great odds. I agree with you.
It's 500-1. Why not?
Okay.
They've won a couple of conferences.
Very good. All right, buddy. Let's talk about what happened over the weekend, man. And we're going to tighten our show up a little bit. We talked about this as college basketball. There's going to be so many games and so many important games that a lot of people are going to be betting on. We're going to tighten it up. Probably do less segments. We're still going to do Call the Cops. We're still going to do Bet the Farm. We're still going to do Rocking Chair. We may or may not do Light It Up again, but we're probably going to cut down on some of our other segments just so we can just grip it and rip it with college basketball. So if you notice us talking less NBA, less NHL for the next couple of 3 weeks, that's the reason. It's a conscious decision. I do feel like everybody's, or most people right now that are betting are in America are focused on the tournaments and then of course the big dance. So,
or even if you're just not betting, you're just waiting for the actual March Madness to start. So either way, college basketball's in the minds of basically everybody. Right
now. All right, so Scott, let's find out what happened this weekend. It was a big day. It was a big weekend. There was a lot of this to go around. A lot of suggestions came in on Twitter for both of these segments. And yeah, we narrowed it down to 3 and we got it. It is the Monday edition. Let's find out who took it in the shorts, who took it to the bank, who's the winners, who's the whiners in the last day of February edition of Call the Caps. That's what they say in Chicago, by the way. You call the Caps there. Yeah, Caps are coming. All right, so let's talk about the one that we probably had more input on than any other, Scott. This is a Sunday game. This was hey, knock it off. This was, speaking of dogs, this was UConn -11 against Georgetown. Georgetown has lost, how many in a row? 19 in a row?
I believe it's 19. They're winless in conference.
Brutal. So UConn
Ewing has to get fired, right?
I think so. Yeah, you can't do that. UConn doing what you think UConn would have done the entire game, led by 22 with 2:42 left. Time to fucking clear the benches, boys.
Repeat the time there?
2:42 left. That's in the game, not the first half, by the way.
So Georgetown needs to cut the lead in half in the next 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yeah, good luck, right? Anyway, Georgetown closed the game on an 18-5 run. That's plus 13. Plus 13 minus from the 22. That's going to leave you with 9, and that 9 is less than 11. Holy shit. If you had UConn there, you were so good, and then you weren't. Call the Cops, Jesus.
And looking at Saturday, it's definitely the most famous beat of the weekend. If you were watching that Arkansas-Kentucky game, very good game. Highly recommend.
No.
And Arkansas was favored by 2.5 against Kentucky.
Is the bank open on Saturday? I can't remember.
Well, getting to that, Arkansas ended up getting a rebound when they were up 4 with about 4 seconds left. And Calipari told his players to foul. Why? I don't know. Are you trying to design a 5-point play or a 4-point play if they miss both free throws? I don't know.
Never say die.
They just went home. Either way, Arkansas's guy made 1 of 2. And the next thing you know, Kentucky's guy sprints up the court. And unlike Edney, he settled behind the 3-point line. And he banked in a 3-pointer from the top of the key. And Arkansas won by 2.
Keeping those Saturday hours for the bank. Ugh, not good. And, yeah. Hey, this is kind of a first. I don't know when's the last time we did a Call the Cops without an overtime segment.
Yeah.
But we've done it. We've run the trifecta here today because Saturday in the ACC, Florida State, Virginia, if you had under 125.5, seemed like a reasonable play. They had 124 with 1 second left. Baseball pass into a 35-foot buzzer beater. That's from distance.
I'm assuming you saw it, right?
Yeah, I did. That's
an all-time crazy shot.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. And talk about something you could make 1 out of 500 times. But anyway, it went in. Game led 127. Didn't even need overtime to beat you. Sorry, Florida State, Virginia, under 125.5 fans, if you had that. Hard to say what beat was worse, but they were all right up there. It's time to call the cops.
I would say the worst is probably going to be that Florida State one. Because there's 1 second on the clock.
Yeah.
Like, Virginia scored to take a 1-point lead with 0.4 left. Then you had to go to the review for 5 minutes just to add 0.6 more to the clock. Even a tipped inbound pass and you win.
Yep.
And instead it goes right into the guy's hands. 360 spin around from Curry range and nothing but net. Why?
I'm assuming you saw that sequence with Curry.
Yes, I did.
That's pretty incredible. If you guys haven't seen that, you should get on Twitter and see him shooting in pregame warmups. Pretty unbelievable. I thought
he made one of those shots in the fourth quarter.
I thought he was going to go to half court, but no, he didn't. So the opposite of call the cops. These are the people that had it in the good place, if you will. You know who you are. You're probably not bragging to your friends because you're humble. You listen to this show. You're a good person, but you want to get up and dance on your ceiling because, man, you were sitting in the rocking chair, baby.
So, looking at the first one, these are all Sunday, by the way. If you had the Pacers plus 9.5 against the Celtics,
I did not.
They led by 11, and they won at halftime, and they won by 21. So, even when you think the Celtics are back, they go back to their old selves.
What the actual fuck? Yeah, I did that as a premium. Congratulations. No, I had that. No, I'm sorry. I had that as a play of the day. My hit with my premiums. Anyway, you had the Pelicans plus 2 against the Lakers. Congratulations. You were in great shape, led by 11 at halftime. And Lakers got nothing in the second half. Nothing. They lose by 17 in the second half. Total Pelicans win by 28. Congratulations. You were sitting in the Pelican rocking chair.
I kind of want to go back to that Lakers team after we finish this segment.
Oh, sure.
But the last one in college basketball, if you had Illinois, Michigan over 141.5, each half had at least 84 points, and the game landed 178.
Yeah, you were in good shape there for sure. All right. So you wanted to make a rant about the Lakers?
It's not really a rant. It's also not going to be a full I told you so because they haven't officially missed the playoffs yet. But I believe I mentioned like 4 months ago, Lakers to miss the playoffs was like plus 500 or like plus 400. And I really am not surprised at what's happened. I don't know. First of all, this could not even be an odds makers were drunk, but a bettors were drunk. Because I don't know how the Lakers went from -1 to -2.5. Who the hell's betting on this team?
Pounding the Lakers.
Can you explain this to me?
I actually liked them there. I didn't bet on them, but I if you put a gun to my head, I would have said Lakers.
No point in my thought process for that game was I really got to lay points with the Lakers with no Anthony Davis. And now you can talk about if this team's going to fully quit because it looked like they quit last night. It looks like they quit the whole season. But I really just don't know how anybody expects this team to win 2 play-in games. Because realistically, they're not going to get the 8, and they're not going to get the 9. Because they're 3 games behind the Clippers right now. The Clippers own the head-to-head 3-0. Actually, I think they're 4 back at the Clippers now. But anyway, that means that they're going to have to win the 10-11 game and the 10-8 game, or the 10-9 game, I should say, because the 9 has to lose. You're getting about -110 for the Lakers to lose 1 of 2 games. How does that make sense? This team, they might play the Pelicans again.
Yep. Can
and
happen.
I said on air, I don't remember if I said on this show or on the podcast that I'm on, if the Pelicans are playing the Lakers in the play-ins, I'm taking the Pelicans. And I said that before yesterday's game. I don't know how the Lakers are supposed to beat anybody. Do you?
No.
They're just bad at everything.
I agree. Let's check in with some of the folks there in the comment section. Zach Vaughn said, well, he put it much more colorfully, but he said not the greatest weekend. He also had Logano to win the race, as Scott and I both did as well. And
Logano prop over Byron kind of saved my race, but
yeah, and I had Blaney over Cindric, and that fell apart on the last fucking lap. I guess Blaney got caught up in the shenanigans there, but Logano he had the second best car. Kyle Larson was just running away from everybody once he got clear. So
I ended up live betting Larson at the end at like plus 175.
that's solid.
It's one of those spots where you're hoping that crashes, of course, aren't going to kill you. Not even just the guy you bet on, but because of restarts and some potential, really crazy jumps because of the push you get from behind you.
Right.
But once Larson really got past that restart, because he was going to cruise with 10 laps to go before there was.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a done deal.
No question.
But Suarez made a bit of a push, and then Larson made the pass. And you knew nobody was going to catch him.
I really wanted to see Suarez win that, but I thought that'd have been cool. But
Larson was really just
they had it dialed in
a level above everybody that entire race. So it really wasn't close.
Took his time. He was patient, and they had the best car at the end. So Ninja's in the house. Summer Sweat. The double cops, buddy. He had Yukon and Arkansas. Jesus.
I remember Karma told me on Twitter that he had Clippers second half -6.5 last night. And they were up, I believe it was 8. And then the Rockets hit a meaningless buzzer beater 3 to end the game.
Oof.
So the Clippers won the second half by 5.
Yep, that's another brutal one that we considered for cops. Big X in the house. What's up, David? The Italians here, Clippers are horse shit team. They are dead to me. I'm kind of the same.
It burned me yesterday. I still like the team. Of course, when you're missing your 2 best players by far, really your 3 best, because I think Norman Powell might actually be their 3rd best player. Probably 4th behind Reggie Jackson, but still, I mean, they have a great shot to make the playoffs with that roster. I can't criticize them. They had an awful game against the Rockets offensively, but I'm not going to write them off as you're dead to me team.
Fair enough. IC's on a couple money line parlay tonight. North Carolina, Fresno State, and Colby Covington money line.
Do you know who Colby Covington is?
No.
MMA fighter.
All right, that'd have been my guess.
He's the one who always makes like the Trump stuff.
The what?
You know who that is?
No, not a bit.
He walks around like an American flag, and he like.
Oh, okay. I know who he is. Roland asking about North Carolina -8.
You thought about it.
Yeah, I looked at it. I passed. I'm leaning North Carolina there. I just didn't like it good enough to make one of my official picks, but I think they're a much better team. Detroit.
You were impressed by Syracuse's no-show at home against Duke over the weekend?
I was not. Detroit Lenny in the house. What's up, buddy? We want to have you guys on the show. I reached out to your partner about having you guys on. So yeah. We'd love to have you guys back on. It's good to see you. Detroit Lenny. Definitely check him out over on the YouTube as well. Him and his partner, Allie. Very good, very funny, and very good stuff.
For the record, by the way, I think I have to like North Carolina tonight.
Yeah.
Because they're a really good home team, and it is senior night.
Okay.
That does seem like a really good spot for North Carolina just to take out the trash. Because at Syracuse at this point, you can make an argument that, of course, they know the season's basically over. Like, they're not getting an at-large. That's a done deal. But you have a shot to make maybe a statement to try to turn it around. And you're down 26 in the first half at home against Duke.
Not ideal.
I'm assuming this team just rolled over, right? Like, I don't know how they're going to rise up for a game at North Carolina. It just seems like they're going to get buried.
Yeah, I've got a premium on the total, or I've got a play of the day on the total here, and I talked about it a little bit. But the problem with the 2-3 zone, and I know you're aware of this, it's a terrible defense to rebound. If your opponent misses the shot, which is the idea, a lot of times you're going to get a second opportunity. So,
and Syracuse, of course, is missing their original starting center. So North Carolina should win the rebounding battle by 15 plus.
I was going to say 15. Yeah, he's Armando's a man among boys there in the middle.
He is. He's going to be a first round pick.
No question.
I don't think he's going to be good in the pros, but he's good in college, so that counts for something. Yep. But I know Summer Sweat's talking about how the Lakers might need just to, or there's a tire fire. They're an awful team. I made this case months ago while ED was injured the first time, and I got some pushback for it, but I am kind of doubling down on it. I think the Lakers should trade LeBron. And I'm not blaming him for the struggles, obviously, because the supporting cast is awful.
Right. No, he's doing his thing.
What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
You have Westbrook for another year. You can't move him. AD is a shell of his former self.
When he plays,
even LeBron at this stage in his career with the injured knee, I know that he might get healthy next season, whatever. What the hell can the Lakers do to actually win a title with this core? The answer is they can't. This team's just not good enough. So if you're going to keep LeBron and not win with him, then what's the point? Because do you think at this point, a 37-year-old LeBron, he'd obviously get you 2 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
Would one team give you 3?
No.
Just because of the actual marketing and the merchandise and the TV games and everything like that?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Maybe I am curious. Maybe get
an idea.
Two ones in a role player.
Now I will ask, if you are a team like, let's just say, I'm trying to think of an awful team, Orlando.
Okay.
And the Lakers offer you LeBron, but you also have to take Westbrook.
Ah!
And you give up like a first-round pick.
A first-round pick?
Yeah, a 1 or 2. Because realistically, I mean, taking the West... Actually, no, you need more because you're taking the Westbrook contract. That's what I'm saying. If that offer was there and you're Orlando, would you do it?
Yeah, yes, I would.
If you're the Lakers, would you do it?
Yeah, probably.
The thing is, you're not a small market team. You know the Lakers, as soon as LeBron leaves, are just going to target every free agent.
They can sign talent. Yeah, I agree.
So if you're talking about just dumping salary and trying to rebuild from scratch, I really think trading LeBron has merit. It sounds crazy, but I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. By the way, Jones in the house. Good to see you, Joan. David the Italian says Lakers Clippers full of incest. It's all LA.
Clippers own the Lakers.
All right, let's do this real
quick. On Friday.
Let's do this here, buddy. Let's talk about the Ncaa tournament because as we mentioned, we do start that up today with the play-in game in the Northeast Conference. A lot of them start for real tomorrow, so that'll be fun. Let's look at some of these conference tournament odds. Now, I already made fun of you on some of your long shots, but let's talk about. First of all, is there free money on the Wooden Award for Sheboy at -400?
It feels that way.
Okay.
It's a spot where I wanted to make a case for Johnny Davis, of course, because Wisconsin is actually good.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, you beat Rutgers on the road. All the top 10 teams lose on the road, and yet somehow you beat Rutgers. Good for Wisconsin. It wasn't easy, but they pulled it out. But you're looking at Kentucky, and you're looking at Shigwe, who even in a loss walks into 30-18 against Arkansas, 30-20. I mean, he just absolutely killed that team. Unless he gets injured, and even if he gets injured, there's 2 regular season games left?
Yep.
I don't think they factor in the conference tournaments for the award race, right? It's only regular season.
No, I think it's conference tournament.
It is too.
It's before. I think it's before the big dance. So, okay.
The only thing that I can say is that the only person who I think at this point who could compete with him would be Johnny Davis. I know Coburn's in the running.
No, those are guys are.
Shigwe is just a better version of Coburn, so I really don't know how Coburn's supposed to beat him.
Okay.
You know?
Yep, agreed.
I'm gonna go with Shigwe. I just don't know how he's supposed to lose when he walks into 15 rebounds every game that he plays.
Fair enough. You'd have to pay a team to take Westbrook. Yeah, absolutely. You trade LeBron, trade LeBron, you're getting 2 number ones. You trade LeBron and Westbrook, you're getting 1. That's exactly right.
I think Summersworth's making a case that if you get Westbrook and LeBron, you might get 3 first-round picks just for taking the terrible contract. I think that's the argument he's making.
Okay, fair enough. Leroy asking about Hofstra tonight over the College of Charleston.
I didn't bet on them ever this season, but after they lost to Elon by 30,
that's a terrible loss.
About 16-point favorites.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can ever bet on Hofstra for the rest of the year.
Quick reminder there. They did lose to Elon by 26 as 13.5-point chalk, so not good at all. Yeah. This is a Charleston team.
Beat William and Mary. Congratulations.
Yeah. Didn't cover. Cover. They beat them by 2 when they played this game earlier in the season at Charleston, or they beat them by 3. Sorry, as 2-point favorites. So they did cover.
I think it's Charleston or pass for me.
Me too. Charleston's covered 4 straight. I'll take the over. Charleston defense is no bueno at all.
Are they still number 1 in pace?
far as I know, I got
They were for the majority of the year. So.
I got Palm right here. Let me check. Mm-hmm. They're number 2 in pace right now, my friend.
Who passed them?
I don't know. Let me
Damn it.
Let me arrange it. Can I arrange it? St. John's. There you go.
Good for the Johnnies. Lost to DePaul over the weekend. Get that crap out of here.
Yep, absolutely.
John Doe asking about the Baylor game under against Texas. I find that game extremely interesting because Baylor had a great home win against Kansas. Great job there. Texas beat West Virginia barely. They really almost lost the game. But Texas, it feels like they're leaking oil, doesn't it?
It does. The defense has not been as strong as it was. You know, they were just playing lockdown defense. Everybody was playing in the 50s against them, and that's gone up. In fact, for me, I'm looking at the over here because you've got this Texas team that's seen the over hit in 5 of their last 6, and it's not because of their offense; it's because of the defense. With the exception of Texas Tech, they've been pretty much giving up points. So, I've got the over there.
I think I'm looking at Baylor. It's another one of those classic spots where I'm usually on the home team because Frank Ewing Center, Texas, it seems like a good spot for them. I just don't like how they're playing basketball right now. And Baylor, I think, is playing pretty well. So I'll take the hotter team to get the job done. Because even in Texas, you had a huge game at home against your biggest rival school in Texas Tech in basketball. How'd that go? Not well. So I don't really know how much home court really matters when you're against a conference team that's just significantly better than you.
Agreed.
And I think Baylor is significantly better than Texas.
Daryl says UNC over. Yeah, Daryl, I've got that as my free play of the day. I do have the UNC over there.
Zach, we're not saying officially Hofstra's going to lose.
Nope.
I'm just making the case that based on how they played against Elon and how they didn't cover against William and Mary, they're not exactly a team that I'm a fan of backing right now based on the current form.
Yep, agreed. Tournament should be fun. Seems wide open. I agree. There's no real far and away leader right now as far as the number 1 team in the nation. So I would agree. How'd you like the mail-in effort in the UFC by Green?
Well, I hated it. I had Islam by submission, and he won by knockout. So I lost all of the long shot props, whatever that I had. Green, I'm not surprised he got his ass kicked because he fought 2 weeks ago. I mentioned on the UFC show, I said he had a 0% chance of winning. Like, he couldn't do anything. There's a difference between being a wrestler, having a wrestling background, and facing somebody in the Khabib family and just expecting them to do well. Like, no, he was clearly going to get his ass kicked. I thought he would last a bit longer, and then he rolled over and just died in the first round. But am I shocked? No. Islam, by the end of the year, will be the champion. And I think you'll appreciate this, Scott, because it's kind of rare. They ended up releasing some early lines for potential title matches in the UFC later in the year.
Okay.
The defending champion against Makhachev. The defending champion is plus 310.
Jeez.
Have you ever seen that before?
Well, it's just like the conference tournament we were talking about with the.
I'm saying somebody with the belt.
I know. Yeah.
Is a plus 310, and the challenger is minus 400. I don't know if I've ever seen that before, but I really just can't blame the odds makers because I think Islam's going to be a champion. I could have told you that 2-3 years ago. But, yeah, Brown's back. That was kind of my point. He had back mount. It was really over anyway he wanted to. He could have went for the rear naked choke, but just decided to punch him out anyway. I hated it, but he had his opportunity. He just chose to punch him. Whatever.
What do you think about the Bucks minus 10 over Charlotte, Scott?
Well, Charlotte's on a back-to-back with overtime. They lost to Detroit yesterday. Shout out to Kelly Olynyk, Gonzaga legend Kelly Olynyk for that buzzer beater jump shot in overtime. Milwaukee lost to the Nets. Embarrassing game there. They had a day off yesterday. But Charlotte has given this Milwaukee team problems this season. I'm going to take the points.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you.
I feel like it's a spot where people are automatically going to assume Milwaukee bounces back. But the more that I actually watch the Bucks play, the less I actually like this team. I don't think they have any depth.
Well, here's the thing about the Bucks is they're not good at home. 12-20 against the number at home, and when the total gets higher, they get worse. They're 6-15 at home with a total of 220 or higher. They're 2-6 with a total of 230 or higher. Tonight's total, I think it's 295. No, it's like 244 or some shit. Whatever it is. It was
241 on the overnight. It is now 238. Money has come in on the under.
Yeah.
But you're looking at the 3 games this season. Bucks won by 2 at home, Hornets won by 8 at home, and Hornets won by 4 at home. So now Milwaukee's going to be laying double digits against a team that has not lost by more than 2.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that logic is there. I'm going to go ahead and take the Hornets.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, they're talking, a lot of things going against them. They're not playing good basketball, although they covered 4 of their last 6. So, I mean, they're not awful, but
well, Charlotte's been terrible lately, but
they haven't been as bad as they were. That's my point. It looks like
you're looking at the backcourt, and you got LaMelo, and you got Rozier, and of course, I know Hayward's out, but you still have Bridges, you still have some pieces. Matchup wise, they just give Milwaukee problems, and whether it's pace, whether it's just because of the fact that they actually have multiple ball handlers, this Hornets team just matches up decently well against Milwaukee, or at least well enough for me not to want to lay double digits. I'll take the Hornets.
Bryce Multane asking about Wyoming, San Diego State tonight. You and I talked about that for a farm play, and it probably is just going to be a really good basketball game because it's a Wyoming team that, for the most part, has been very, very good. They've had some weird little dips, like their loss to New Mexico wasn't good.
They're going dancing no matter what, right?
I would think so. I would think that unless they absolutely shit the bed, maybe if they lose out and then lose the first round of the tournament, they could. But if
they lose in the first round to like Air Force, then maybe we can talk about it.
Yeah, I think they're in pretty good shape. The San Diego State team, not quite as good on the road as they have been at home. Still a very good team. Give me the Cowboys.
I'm going with Wyoming.
Yeah.
It's a situation where even though Wyoming ended up losing to Colorado State, congrats, you lost a road game that was competitive and you covered against the best team in the conference.
Yep.
Like, I'm not going to roast you for that. You tried. So they didn't have a no-show, wasn't a bad performance, but I can't go against Wyoming in Laramie. I mean, they've just been really, really good in Laramie. So I'm going to go with Wyoming. They're getting points, or they're a slight favorite. Are they like plus 1.5?
I thought they were -1. Let me see here.
Are they -1?
Oh no, they are plus 1.5. You're right. Yep.
That's what I thought. So if you're gonna give me plus money,
yep,
taking Wyoming in Laramie,
yep,
more times than not, that should work out.
And remember, Wyoming is the highest elevation of any D1's team.
I'm just saying, you're 13-0 at home. You're giving me plus money.
Yep.
Like, sure.
Agreed. Somebody asked about the NEC tournament game. The only advice we had there was it's been a home series so far. So
it's either Dickinson or pass for me.
Take FD or pass.
If you're betting it because you want premature March fever, I'm rooting for you.
Wait a day. A lot more happening tomorrow. Bronco Devil said he first better sit in the 70s or 80s. He won $5. I forgot to tell you, I had somebody show up in the comment section yesterday and just basically tried to big league everybody. I was the shit in Vegas in the 70s and 80s, and I made a bunch of money, and everybody today is shit, and these guys are all fucking clowns, or what? I don't even know the point he was trying to make, except
you had Jimmy the Greek in your comment section.
Yeah, no shit. What was it? Fucking Mike something? I don't even know. He says he lives off the grid in North Carolina now, and of course somebody called him out immediately. Said, "Well, how are you commenting on a YouTube video if you're off the grid?" It goes, "Cell phone." Okay, I don't think you know what fucking off the grid means, but okay, Ted Kaczynski.
I think he meant burner phone.
Whatever. So yeah, I think that's what Bronco Devil's referring to. And as I said, if you didn't make money in the 70s and 80s sports betting, you are a fucking dink. Everybody made money in the 70s and 80s sports betting, dude.
I made money in the 80s.
There you go. Fort Wayne plus 550 to win the Horizon.
I mean, it's going to be tough for them to win when Green Bay wins.
Light it up.
But, I mean, I like IPFW. I mentioned them a couple of weeks ago. They're a team, of course, that has pretty jarring home road splits, which is concerning.
Yep.
But in the horizon, you really don't want to take the favorite. So Cleveland State is just a complete no bet for me. I don't think they're good enough to be the favorite. I'm kind of tempted by Oakland because we kind of gravitated to Oakland earlier in the year.
Mm-hmm.
If we're talking about realistic chances of winning, I mentioned the long shots because why not? Like you're getting your $10 to win a couple thousand. Like I'll do it every time. But
J.C. Stone, yes, Austin, Mike Austin, that was it. Austin the Edge.
But I do think that Oakland and IPFW would be the two teams I think that have the best chance, quote unquote, to win the tournament. You?
Mm-hmm. I agree. If you wanted to play a favorite, I think you could do that. How long before James Harden cancer spread through the Sixers team? Yeah, more than 2 games. Playoffs.
The thing is that you can talk about how good the Sixers look and how Harden, Embiid, and Maxey combined for like the second most points ever by a trio, like whatever. But that means that nobody else on the team is doing anything, right?
Yep.
Like Tobias Harris has been doing nothing. So if you're not going to go to the line about 40 times, and in the playoffs when they start swallowing the whistle and Embiid's going to the foul line, let's just say
8 times,
13 times,
okay,
instead of 27, they're going to have problems. Because if they didn't go to the line that much yesterday, they're probably going to lose to the Knicks. Just going to throw that out there.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to be a hater. Like, they look good so far, but I do kind of have to wait and see. Because we all know playoff basketball, whether it's officiating, whether it's just potential durability concerns, it's just a different level of basketball in the playoffs. And Harden has always been a guy who's been a regular season player, where he's won an MVP, he puts up huge numbers, and the playoffs come around and he looks like a shell of himself. So I'm going to take the wait-and-see approach.
Leroy Flood asking about Timberwolves and Cleveland tonight. Cleveland missing Garland, LeVert, of course. Haven't covered 4 straight, 1 and 3 over the last 4.
Money's poured in on Minnesota. I think they went from like 1.5 to 3.5.
Yeah, I get that. I hate being behind the curve, man. I could maybe grab it at 3.5 still. I wouldn't pay 4. I'm not taking Cleveland there. How about you?
Cleveland needed a fourth quarter comeback to beat the Wizards.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sold. And Garland is still out, even though he played in the All-Star game. So I don't know where the priorities are anymore in the NBA. You're going to play in the All-Star game and then miss like 3 games right after? Like, what are we doing?
IC says plus 1,000 to win the final seems too juicy. Yeah, we've talked about this Miami team. We like them, and they can put it together at the right time.
I did a podcast yesterday talking about NBA futures, and the Heat 10-1 to win the finals definitely came up. My argument is that after watching Milwaukee lose to the Nets on Saturday, I think I wrote the Bucks off to win the championship. I just don't think they're good enough.
Oh, fuck, they're 5th right now in the East. That's not. But good.
I'm saying, like, the more I watch this team play, the more I like Miami to beat them in a 7-game series. And yet Miami is currently getting bigger odds to win the title than Milwaukee. I don't think it makes any sense.
Let's rip this real quick. By the way, Zach, I agree. Where did Rick Ruler go? I do like Rick Ruler for sure. Daryl Turner. Okay, real quick, buddy. Opinions on a parlay. Was it a Chris King 8-teamer? Heat money line tonight. Heat against Chicago. 4-point favorite. Okay. Magic money line. Fultz coming back.
For the record, by the way, Chicago is ridiculously bad this season against elite competition.
Yep,
They're a fun team, but against quality teams like the creme de la creme, they've really been terrible. I think they're 2-12.
Orlando against Milwaukee. Hopefully they peaked yesterday. Indiana rather.
That's Charlotte. Orlando plays Indiana.
Indiana. Yep. The Nets spread, T-Wolves spread, Spurs spread, Thunder spread, UNC over, Charleston over. Any thoughts on any of those? Light it up.
Okay, we talked about the Timberwolves. Cleveland at home is tricky, but with the injuries and how they looked against Washington, I can't really say no. I'd look at the under in that game because Minnesota blindly has high totals, but Cleveland with Garland out has really been a mess offensively. So I would lean to the under in that game. Spurs, I think that's a coin flip.
Didn't ask about the total in the T-Wolves game, by the way.
I know. I just volunteered that information.
Okay, well let's move it along.
Sorry, just looking through the rest. The Thunder, I don't mind because the Kings laying points anytime is just scary to me. I think it's okay, but of course, with that many parlays, I mean, you could just go up in flames immediately. So I don't know. Good luck to you.
All right, light it up. This Rick Zepp says, "I'm Rick Ruler." Damn it! Pull the old okie doke on us. Well, welcome back, Rick.
See, Daryl, it's always tough when I see people ask about an opinion on like a 7-game parlay. It's like, yeah, it's fine. I mean, most parlays, you still need a lot of luck to go your way. You could handicap the game perfectly, but we know how crazy each individual game can be because we bet every day. We've done it for years. So a 7-teamer like that with no huge money lines and everything like that, yeah, it looks good on paper, but we'll see what happens.
All it takes is one to be on Call the Cops, and you're fucking singing the blues. Scott Nowak says, every time I wager on the Bucks, they never cover. Dude, if you could put just a little something on them tonight, I'd appreciate it. Yeah. Okay, man. Real quick, let's get into this. Let's see if we can do this in 5 minutes. We'll go through some of the tournament odds here. ASUN, Liberty, Jacksonville State, your top 2 favorites. Don't get them confused with Jacksonville, by the way. I actually like this. I actually liked the Jacksonville team better than I like Jacksonville State. They play very good defense. If you had to take a long shot, that's my long shot there. Plus 475. You?
Yeah, we're on the same page. Liberty, I can say, is not as good as they have been in the past. Darius McKee is nuts, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I believe he had 46 over the weekend against like McNeese. Like, he's a very solid player, but Liberty needed overtime against McNeese. Or not McNeese, sorry, Kennesaw. Against Kennesaw, sorry. They needed overtime against Kennesaw State. I don't want to pick them as a favorite. I like this Liberty team a lot, but this year they're definitely not as good as they have been. I agree with you. I think Jacksonville's undervalued.
We talked about this Horizon tournament a little bit. If you want to get away from Cleveland and Fort Wayne, which I think Fort Wayne, there's decent value at 350. You and I both like Oakland at 5.25. And if you want to take a long shot, Youngstown State 20-1. You could do worse than that.
Yeah, I got, of course, Milwaukee, Robert Morrison, whatever, at 500-1.
Patriot League, Colgate's the big favorite there. Navy, everybody else.
That's really it.
Yeah,
and even Navy's a question mark.
Yeah, I mean you
can argue Boston just for the historical results,
right?
Not really.
Okay.
If Colgate doesn't win this conference tournament, they should be embarrassed. They really should cruise to a conference tournament.
Hampton, are they locked out?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's the Big South. And I think they did the transfer, and they've been.
I'm assuming you agree, by the way. Like, Colgate should run relatively unopposed.
Yeah, I have a hard time fading anybody there. I mean, if you want to take a long shot, Army has played some good ball, but I just don't think they can put that many games together in a row. Longwood plus 160.
I really like that Longwood.
That Big South is wide open, man.
You make a case for Winthrop because of the just history of the
pedigree
the last couple of years,
yeah.
But I mean, Longwood's been good to us. I know they've made you a lot of money on some plays.
They have.
I'm going to turn my back on the Lancers right now.
Can't do it. I'll take it. Murray State minus 190. Anyway, they don't roll through there.
I think they have to. I mean, I don't want to take complete chalk here, but when the only team that's even close in odds is Belmont, and you beat them by 30 both times, then I'm assuming you're just going to roll through the conference tournament, right?
Yeah, if you want to take a long Morehead State. That's
I just think Murray State's going to roll. I just really like that.
I agree.
You can make an argument maybe like Southeast Missouri because they like let Murray State have like a 17-point run to end the game. Like, they had a shot to win that game.
I know.
So maybe you can make a case.
But that's the problem. That's their problem in a microcosm, is they just can't sustain. So
yeah, they also can't stop anybody. They score points, but I'm saying if you want to talk about serious long shots, I don't mind a team that's a threat to score 80 in any given game.
All right, let's pick it up.
They're not going to win the tournament, but if you want a serious long shot, I don't mind that. But
Georgia State.
I think Murray State's just going to win the tournament.
Georgia State in the Sun Belt, plus 250. This is wide open. Plus 250. USA plus 400. Texas State plus 400. App State 5.25. Coastal.
I'm not
8.
taking Texas State.
No. USA for a decent price there for me.
And I'm not taking Little Rock at 500-1.
No. Okay, very good.
That's not happening.
You and I talked about this one in the Missouri Valley, whether there's any value on anybody except Loyola at plus 1.
By the way, if you actually wanted my value play on the Sun Belt,
give
me App.
Okay.
About 550. I mean, they're going to shoot a bunch of threes.
Maybe they
had a miracle run last year. Why not?
Maybe they get hot. Sure, I get that. I want a long shot in the Missouri Valley. Give me Southern Illinois, or the team that can play defense at 18-1.
Which team are you talking about?
The Missouri Valley.
No, I'm saying, which team do you have at 18-1?
Southern Illinois.
Okay, because I see him at 22-1.
Or much better. Check your books. As far as a favor goes there, I think UNI is intriguing at plus 400. Just won the regular season title.
I see 5-1. Okay. So I don't mind
do
that. Of course, had a crazy overtime win against Loyola to win that in the regular season. Loyola's a team that everyone just assumes are going to win the conference because they do it every year. They've been quite vulnerable on several occasions.
A lot of new personnel.
I'm not picking them.
Okay. Gonzaga minus 400. St. Mary's at plus 400. Too much of a sucker play to take the team that just beat the shit out of them?
It's so funny how you can't even bet both to guarantee profit.
Nope.
They cancel each other out so perfectly. I understand it. It's just upsetting. You kind of wanted St. Mary's to be 6-1 so you could make a case. They're just going to play each other in the final.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know how anyone's going to beat either of these teams.
Take St. Mary's and hedge.
I think San Francisco could have given St. Mary's a run for their money.
Yep.
But they're in the Gonzaga portion. So I'm just assuming it's going to be Gonzaga, St. Mary's.
Last one, Summit League, South Dakota State, big favorites, minus 190. Everybody else 400 or better.
Are we doing a rant or no?
About the Jacks?
Yeah.
About how they ran through the conference tournament. I mean, ran through the regular season schedule undefeated and still have to fucking prove themselves. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Real quick.
It's really just insane how you have them run the table, 16-0. They've dominated. What are they, 7 games clear of anybody else? It's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, if they lose one of these 3 games, they're going to the NIT.
Yep.
What's the point of playing the regular season in these mid-major conferences if you have to win the conference tournament in order to go in? What's the point?
Yeah, it's bullshit. You needed a little higher national profile to guarantee themselves a spot. Having said that, I think there's value in North Dakota State at 4-1, and Oral Roberts at 5-1. I think I'd play both of those.
I think Oral Roberts is intriguing because we know South Dakota State can score a bunch of points, and really nobody in the conference can stop them. So maybe Oral Roberts can score enough to keep it close. I think Oral Roberts would be my pick.
Yeah, you get those
at least for a value play.
Some of those shots that aren't dropping, things go badly. Okay, so
I'm rooting for South Dakota State though. I really like that team, but I do think it's insane that you can play for 4 months in conference, and then the tournament starts and everything doesn't mean anything. What is this?
Shut up, kid. I know where I'm at. My son checking in. Fucking, don't you work
Truman?
Don't you work for a living? Jesus Christ. No golf picks last week? No, we didn't, and we'd have got it wrong. So we did NASCAR. Come on, are we going to do a tournament show? Yeah, we'll probably do a NCAA tournament show.
Well, I'm not sure. Are you going to end up doing that consensus thing again?
What do you mean? The thing that we did last year, the bet between the 3 of us. I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know if they're going to do that again or not.
I was going to say, because if they do, then I don't know how much you can actually disclose about the games for a tournament show.
That's true too. What I lose last year? 1,500? $2,000? What was it?
I got to remember that.
Fuck.
All I know is I ended up losing because the second half in the Gonzaga Baylor game, I was cruising to an over, and then the game just completely hit the wall, and I lost.
Cool story. Cool story, bro. All right, let's do it, man. We're running out of time. It's time. It's the Monday edition, man. Get on those overalls. Put on your straw hat. Climb aboard your John Deere. Pull your keys out, the one with the lucky rabbit's foot, and get ready to fire that motherfucker up, because it's time to hear from the cash cow. It's time to bet the farm. All right, before we do this, real quick, Zach Von says, got all your listeners participate in an office pool bracket. I think we've got problems with taking in money. I think that's the problem. I think we've talked about this before, and I think there's a problem with us being the disseminators of money. Namely,
on the bright side, though, we could potentially do a tournament capping contest,
something like that. We could, and the proposal has been submitted. I wrote up a big proposal for our contest, giving away swag and stuff. So everybody stay tuned on that, because hopefully this week we'll get word on that. We can get that started for the tournament. Okay, here we go. Scott, I know we had to bet the farm play. It was a big one for us as we tried to get to 60% over our last 100. And how did that go?
We had LeBron over 8.5 rebounds, and he had 10 in the first 3 quarters.
Very nicely done. Cue the banjos! Yeah! Bronco Devil says the Baylor -1 is the farm play for him. All right, very good, Scott. It's still you, my friend. So there we go. What do you got? What do you got cooked up for today for all of our would-be farmers out there?
So we're going to look at college basketball and a matchup between Fresno State and Air Force, and we're going to look at the total. We like the under 134.5, courtesy of our friends at BetMGM. Looking at the actual performances by Fresno State recently, the defense is really good and the pace is very slow, but each of Fresno State's last 9 games have had less than 132 points. Fresno ranks 356th in offensive tempo according to KenPom, which is the 3rd slowest in the nation. Fresno State also ranks 24th in defensive efficiency according to KenPom. And last but not least, this is the 2nd meeting this season. The first meeting landed 125. This total is just way too high. We will dare any team to go against Fresno and for both of them to score 135 plus.
Yep, absolutely true. And by the way, Air Force been on a little bit of a...
I'm sorry, it's not Air Force. Sorry, it's Fresno State, New Mexico.
It is New Mexico.
Sorry.
Yep.
It is New Mexico.
Yep. Sorry, guys. And New Mexico's been on a little bit of a dip offensively. They've seen the under cash in their last 5 as well. So we like this play quite a bit.
My bad.
Playing
it's
the
Fresno State, New Mexico.
Yes.
Under 134.5.
Yep.
Sorry.
Let me hang on. Let me change this for posterity here.
That was my bad.
That's all right.
I had Air Force on my head because they both played Air Force last game.
Right. We talked about Air Force a lot and how they matched up and how the games would be similar. All right, there we go. So this is going to be saved correctly now. There you go. All right.
Just put it up for a sec.
Yep. Oh, there it is. All right. So cool. Fresno State, New Mexico. There you go. So that's going to be our Bet the Farm play. That's going to be our show for today. Thanks very much for stopping by. As always, guys, happy Monday. Had a great February. Let's see if we can keep it rolling here on into March. It's about to get fun, kids. It's the best time of the year. So everybody keep a good thought. Let's go make some money. Don't burn your cash up like Scott's doing, all right? Do something good with it. So you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, as always. And, of course, don't forget to check out our pals over there at BetMGM doing very cool stuff. All the notes are in the show notes. $10 bet gets you $200. Free bet up to $1,000. You know the drill. Check those links. Do it. It is free money. Go take advantage of it. All right. You guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping by. We'll do it again tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Once again, as Scott and I will do our very best to help you on your journey to head back to the window. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.